Hello everybody, my name is CityZilla and we are playing Cities Skylines. Today we are in our second new city, the Boreal city. We don't have a name for the city yet, but I thought it would be fun to start exploring this city as well as the island city. So if you haven't checked out the other city, go ahead and make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss it. We have now 4 cities that we're working in, and it's kind of crazy, but it's actually kind of fun. You know, it's allowing me to kind of explore a bunch of different ideas and kind of take a break from other cities and stuff. And so what I want to do today is start working on some early game strategy stuff. So normally when I start out a city, I start to think about where the traffic is going to flow, how I'm going to get cars or deliveries from one area to the next. And so in the first episode, we had talked briefly about extending this road all the way out here and then eventually connecting up over here. Well, this is just a regular road couplet, so it's not a highway. And so we could either have a branch off of the highway come up here and potentially connect up over here, or we could just continue using the couplets. And so after playing around with it for a little bit, I think the couplets is actually a pretty cool idea. And so what I want to do is start building out some more neighborhoods over here, and then we'll probably extend a collector going across this way. And then I think what we're going to do is put a couplet on either side of this railway line. And I think it's going to kind of provide a little bit of interest. We can do some commercial and stuff, and I think it's going to come out pretty cool. And so first thing that I want to do is jump into roads, and we're going to go to rural roads. We're going to jump over to 2-lane gravel road, and we are going to go all the way down the coastline. And a couple of things I want to touch on too. This city is going to be an American European, almost colonial style city. It's modeled after Albany, which is a very old city for American standards. It was founded in the 1600s, and it was one of the earlier of the settled cities within the Americas. And as a result, there's a ton of really great just European-style architecture, Gothic-style architecture. The state building, when I first saw it, I thought it was like a palace. It kind of reminded me of like Buckingham Palace or something like that. Just really grand and really majestic. And so a couple things that I want to try to do in here. I want to try and capture a couple little plaza areas. I know in Europe it's really common to have like statues everywhere and little plazas, and it's something that I want to try to capture here, and it's something that I remember in Albany as well. There just being some really nice open spaces, and so we are going to go like this, and what I want to do is come down here. We're going to turn this, and then we're going to have it go like this. And the reason why I'm doing this is because we're going to turn this into a little bit of a plaza, just a place of interest. We're going to do, I think, the official park. I was kind of playing around with some statues on Steam, and I felt like the official park looked really good. And it, using Bob, we can kind of clean it up and take out some of the plants and stuff. And I think it ends up coming out pretty good. I do want to extend these out just a little bit. I kind of wish those were a little closer. I feel like them being that far apart is actually kind of weird. I wonder if we can just delete these and then just bring this in just a little more. I feel like we probably can. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks pretty good. And so my idea here, again, is to create a little bit of a plaza. And so what we're going to do is jump in here. And what I'm going to do is just do some trees around the outside. Then I'm going to paint the inside concrete. And then we'll do a little bit of a park and then some paths and everything. And then we'll probably even do another road that's going to end up branching off up here. And so I will be right back with you. All right, so that is the basic idea. I did some Boreal trees and then just some of those planter networks and some paths. Nothing too crazy, but it looks good. And so now what I want to do is jump in here, and this is going to be our city's first unique building, and it's kind of interesting. I wasn't planning on initially doing it this quickly, but after kind of playing around with it, I was like, you know, this just looks really good. And I already used Bob to basically remove all the tiles and everything. All we have is these little benches with little trash cans and the lights. And the reason was I did that is because I wanted it all to be concrete so that we could get a nice look in here. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and paint in all this is concrete. And this is something that I think of when I think of Europe, is just large open areas like this. And because it's not something that is in the United States a lot. You don't often have large plazas like this. And so it's one of the things that I really enjoy. I like having large open areas for people to congregate and kind of get together. And a lot of times you'll have like street performers and stuff, and it just kind of creates a really cool atmosphere. And so now what I'm going to do is just put some little planters around here, and then I think I'm going to put a couple little chairs, and then I'm going to do a little fence on this front side to kind of block this plaza from oncoming traffic. And then we will start moving on. I think we'll do another one of these on the other side as well. Okay, and there we go. So I just put some trees in here with a little planter and put the trees with planters around this, and then did the tables, and then I finished it off with a little Parisian-inspired guardrail, or European-inspired. I really like these. I think it adds a nice touch to the area, and it makes it so that people can still walk through, and so this was a nice little easy thing to do. And now what we can do is start working on the bigger area. So I want to jump back in here, go to rule. And the reason why I did that first was so that we could see what kind of footprint we're dealing with that. And so what I would like to do is, first off, turn back on snapping. That'd be pretty important. And so one of the things that we had done with this city is we made our grid a little bit further out. You know, that's actually perfect right there. So if we come down here, and then what we're going to do is, I think we're going to start using some regular roads now, some paved roads. And we are going to draw in this little couplet that I was kind of thinking of. So I want to get as close to possible, or as close as possible to the train. And the reason why is because it's really going to help us capture a nice little vibe with the train kind of passing through all these commercial areas and everything. And we'll probably do like industrial as well. And it's just going to really be a cool scene that we're going to be able to capture here. And so I want to go like that. And there we go. Super easy. And then now that allows us to connect to this up here. So we'll come in over here, connect that up, and I would really like to get one more down here. So maybe we'll go 1, 2, 3, we'll go 4. I think that's probably good right there. And then that way we can just curve this in. And then I want to come up here as well. Let's actually change orientation. So I think we will come up like right here. And I want to be, yeah, that's good right there. And then we could just leave this empty. We could also have an exit coming up right here. I'm tempted to just do something in here though. Maybe we could do like a school or something, because we have a high school right there, but I believe our elementary school is way over here. Let's see if we have another elementary in this area, because yeah, so we will actually turn that into a nice schooling area. I feel like that would be great. Okay, so then what we're going to do for this area, because we want to be mindful of this hill, is be a little bit, I want to leave some room for us to be able to get one more row of zoning in there. And so if we come out like right here, you know, we can actually go much closer. So maybe if we go like right here, and then what we'll do is we will start to curve this just to leave a little bit of room to get some more zoning back here. So we will then create a branch off street up here. So we'll probably go like right there. Perfect. Nice. And so we kind of cut into that hill a little bit, but we left a lot of it untouched, which I think is just fantastic. Now we do want roads going up it, but we want it to be in a more natural way. So we'll have it go up like right there. And then what we're going to do is have this curve down, and we want to still follow that same kind of pattern we have going on, but we want it to now be mindful of this hill. So if we go like that, how does that look? You know, it doesn't look bad. I kind of feel like this space right here is a little bit wasted, but it leaves some room for us to be able to do some interesting stuff. And so what I think we'll do now is, since we are a little bit further up, we can continue this down. All right, so I think that actually looks pretty good. I just want to kind of smooth off some of these edges a little bit. The way that this game builds roads isn't the most realistic. They would obviously grade out some more areas, but I think this looks good. I like how we kind of followed the hill a little bit. And so what I would like to do is continue on this road. So we'll come over here, go to rule again, and we will have this go back to the waterway a little bit. And then what I would like to do is go ahead and bring this back, and we're going to do another one of those little plaza areas. And so I'm pretty much just going to copy it on this side. We're just not going to do the official park. We'll do something else in there. Honestly, because it's a little bit smaller, maybe we'll just do a regular park, or we'll kind of figure it out. And so I'm just going to get that done real quick. Okay, and here we go. Super easy. Again, just did a little planter with some trees. Nothing too fancy, but it really helps to clean up the area. I really like this whole idea. I've been playing around with doing small plazas like this in Crater Lake. I really wanted to do them with the roundabouts, but I just never really got around to doing it, especially with the trams and everything. I felt like we were going to really miss out on some opportunities with them in that city. And so I'm glad that we got to do it in this one. It's actually really fun. And so now what I'm thinking for this is we're going to use this as basically a main arterial. We're going to turn it into a couplet, but we'll probably have it branch down here and then eventually meet up with our other little couplet down here. And so Let's go ahead. I'm going to do water pipes real quick. Okay, water pipes in. And so we need to do, so keep it paused. I'm paused there for a second. Let's go ahead and do some zoning back here, and we'll do 4 by zoning because I really want it to be right up on that train. And you know what? We could even do a train station in here too. I think that would be awesome. That's one thing that Europeans in Europe, train access, like using trains, like commuter train is so popular, and in America it's not. But because we're doing like a European American city, I feel like, man, you know, if we get that going, it'd be probably more realistic. And so let's go ahead and start zoning this in. We are going to just do, so we have commercial right there. We're going to do a school right there. We're going to put some services down here. And so most of this is just going to be residential. And then we're going to come back in here and do some landscaping and stuff in the middle. That's why I left those spaces. These would be like backyards. That's one of the coolest things that I really enjoyed about this city, was that we did a little bit more space in between the houses. And instead of being right on top of each other, they have a little more room. Come down here, you know, let's actually fill this in too. And then I'm just going to fill all this in real fast. Okay, so I went ahead and zoned in the rest. I did do a couple little crossovers here. It kind of breaks up the grid a little bit, but it actually provides a little bit of interest. Makes it almost feel like it's more natural, like the space just needed to be filled in, and so they put in a road. And so now we can unpause it, and then let's go ahead and figure out what we're going to do with our services. So our medical clinic, it would be, you know what, I think on this road it's going to be great. Though there's not crossover access. I guess we could do a road across, because right here it only covers this side really well. So maybe we'll actually do 2. I think we'll do a clinic right there, and we'll come down here and do a clinic down here as well. And then let's go ahead and do fire, and then let's do fire down here as well. We're going to do them next to the school area, which I think is fantastic. And then let's go ahead and do a police station back here too. And then I think we are actually going to move this over here to the empty space, which I think is just great. And we could do the large one. And you know what? I think that is fantastic. And it's kind of funny. We have anarchy on, so these buildings got trees in them, which I guess, I don't know, maybe it's more natural. Maybe they just let the trees kind of grow in. It doesn't look terrible. I do like these little European assets. I think these are great. Let's see if our power hooked up. So it actually does look like it is. And so we have a couple issues in our new city as well. Trash, and then now electricity. Especially since we're expanding, it's pretty common to have this issue. And so one of the things that I did want to do, it's kind of funny, I just recently had to do a run to one of these transfer facilities in real life. And it was way out in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, man, you know, it really got me thinking how these are normally, dumps are not normally in the city. They're normally pretty far out of the city. And a lot of it is just because of available space or the smell. Maybe there's like zoning regulations. I'm not really sure, but we're going to go ahead and go like this. And you know what? I want it to be parallel with that freeway. So we're going to come up here and we're going to go like this. Okay. And so basically, I mean, nothing too crazy. We're just going to do landfills back here. We don't have a ton of money, so it looks like only 1 right now. I was like prepared to plop down like 4 of them, but so we're just going to place the 1, and then we're making pretty good money, especially since we already have this little farm going. And so it does look like we already have enough money to do at least a couple more of these. So I think we'll go like that. We'll go like that. And then we'll probably call that done for right now. I'm just going to go ahead and hook this up with water real quick. Turn off snapping. Come down here. Connect that up. And then let's go ahead and empty this one, because then we can get rid of it and move it back here. And then the idea is for us to basically put some trees around this, make it a little secluded, kind of in the middle of nowhere, though it is still pretty close to the city. The spacing in this game is kind of off, though, so maybe we don't know how close this is. So what I want to do is build out a little residential area. Ooh, you know, it's so funny. I had mentioned us having power problems and then completely forgot about actually placing them in. So let's come over here, and I really was hoping to get in an actual nice area for this, but we'll go ahead and plop that right there. And then I think we will eventually end up doing a nice little area. Oh, look at that, busy town, 4,800. So we unlocked city planning policies, sightseeing bus tours, trolley buses, oil industry specialization, which is pretty cool, tourism specialization, and a bunch of policies. I don't think we're really going to dive into a bunch of those just yet, but they're good to have. And so let's go ahead and place down another water tower. And I think maybe we'll go ahead and place it back here. I feel like that'll be a good spot for it. And so we'll go like this, call that done. And then let's figure out a nice, so what are we going to do? with this school. So let's jump in here, and I think we're going to go over to parking. I'm going to go like this, and I want to do something a little bit bigger this time. Maybe we'll make like a, oh, you know what? We can do a big field. There you go. I know I've been talking about it for a while too, because all of our elementaries always miss fields, and it's just such a key part of being in school is having to do laps and everything. And I think I'm going to change this road texture real quick. Whenever I was building the theme out for this, I didn't even look at the pavement texture. Yeah, there you go. I chose something a little bit darker with some textures. Okay, and so what I'm thinking is we will go like this, but then I think we're going to do a big field. I really like the idea of having like a track and everything for all the kids that are in elementary school, and then we'll probably do maybe a basketball court too. I feel like that could be good. So we'll go like this, and then we will do one more on either side, and then let's go ahead and do handicapped. So we'll go like this all the way down, copy it on this side, and then let's go ahead and use the clipping remover to clear up those spaces. And you know what? That's actually a pretty good little space right there. So then let's jump in here, do our elementary, and then let's jump into parks. And I think we can do the large playground. I feel like that would just be great. Yeah, look at that. So large playground. And you know what? Let's do two. Maybe we'll imagine that there's 2 playground areas, or maybe we'll do a park. So it just provides something different for the kids. And so let's go in here, and we're going to come up here. We're going to choose gravel path. And now we are going to connect these up. And then what I want to do is create a little bit of like a field. So I want to come down here. Maybe we'll have it go sideways actually. So we'll go this way. Basically the idea for this is just where you would have to like run a mile. You would get your fitness in. I don't know if this is common in Europe. Do you guys have to run for PE or physical education or anything like that? Because in America it's super common. Pretty much all throughout primary school, you have to run a lot. Yeah, every week, I believe. This is a pretty big elementary school, but this would be a really nice elementary school. It's got a ton of amenities, and so now what I want to do is jump into our trees, and we're using the heck out of these Boreal trees. But man, I think they look great, especially since the map has so many of them. I think it would just be a nice touch. Yeah, there we go. I actually really like that. It's a huge elementary, but I think it looks great. And you know, it's funny. I think we're going to get rid of this, and we're going to do a sports one. I didn't even think about that, but I think having a sports one would be great. Maybe we could even do both and use Bob to get rid of the stuff for him. So just removed those, and that's such an interesting mod. You know, it's so funny. Before Few Candy, I hadn't really used that mod a whole lot, but man, it really just is such a versatile mod. You can do so much with it. It is so great. And look at that, you know, and I think this looks great. I'm just going to jump in here and do some small bushes around it. Nothing too crazy, just to kind of dress it up a little bit. Yeah, look at that. I actually really like that. It's a really big area, but I think it looks good, and that's really what we're trying to go for here. So I downloaded a bunch of district styles, and we got to be careful when if you don't zone them in, then they kind of all mix together. It's actually kind of weird, but so if you come in here, I want this to be European suburbia, and I got this like post-war Italy. I got American suburbia. I got Grecian Isles, which is pretty great. Euro tower blocks, which is cool. Industry reworked, which is actually pretty interesting. It has some really cool industry buildings, but a lot of them are they're interesting buildings. Like even this building right here, the Dale Residence. This is like a more compact, something you could see in Italy. I like how it has the little walkway. I think that is just great. All our poor buildings kind of disappeared, but they'll grow back. I'm just going to let this run for a second so that we can kind of see all the buildings come in. And it's really going to help our money too, kind of beef us up a little bit. All right, so I let the game run for a little bit, and I actually really like this. I think this looks great. We still have a lot of space available to us, and a lot of it just has to do with available demand. Whenever you build out new areas, you tend to have your demand collapse, and so what I would like to do now is jump into some roads and just continue on our little pattern here, see if we can get our city growing. And so I'm going to now, it's kind of funny, we're getting way up on this hill, but this cliffside is actually really cool. I'm going to turn back on snapping, and we're going to try to get right up on that cliff. So I feel like this would just be a great place to have a house. So we'll come up like right there, and then let's go ahead and we will continue on this grid layout, but I want to not get crazy with it. So I think we're going to go up to about like right there. And it does look like we're on a really big hill. So let's actually bring that back and look at this for a second. So it looks like our hill comes up way over here. So maybe if we grab this road, and what we're going to do is try to follow the top of this hill here. Yeah, there we go. And so what we can do here is kind of build along this hillside going this way as well. I do want to keep that spacing in here, so I'm going to try to be mindful of it as we build this out. We're going to go like that, and then we're going to go ahead and follow this down as well. And you know what? That actually doesn't look bad. We did get some weird hills, like cliffs showing up over here, but I really don't think there's too much we can do about that. I do want to create a couple connections in here though, so we're going to go like that. And it's kind of steep hills, but it's definitely something that's going to be needed for this area. We don't want to just get carried away with it, because I do want to have another connection in here. So I wonder if we can actually make one of these into an arterial, turn this one into like a main collector, and then that way we can just continue this down. It looks like maybe if we come this way, we want to avoid this hill as much as possible. Maybe even come through here. Yeah, you know what? I think that's fantastic right there. I do have prop and tree anarchy on, so I'm just going to go through here and fix these real quick. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to clean these up as well. Yeah, you know what? I actually think that looks pretty good. And so now that affords us the opportunity to start building in some more homes back here. So then let's jump into our rural roads, and we will have this follow down here, but then turn, and then what I'm thinking is we will do a connection in here somewhere. So I think maybe if we even follow this down, so we'll jump into a bigger road again, and what we'll do is we will have it kind of follow this little tree line right here. I feel like that would be good. Yeah, there we go. And then that way we can kind of section it off and help people to get around, because that's really one of the biggest problems with this game is traffic and providing enough routes for people, because if you don't pay attention to it, man, it gets pretty crazy pretty fast. So we'll go like that, and then now what I think we're going to do is actually change the orientation of this grid and go like this. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks pretty great. Yeah, we'll go like that, and then let's go ahead and do a road right here as well. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm so used to doing more organized grid patterns that this is almost bothering me a little bit, but I think that's part of this build is we really want to try to keep a more sporadic grid pattern. I don't want to have it just be perfect squares, which is something that I normally stick with. I think this looks pretty good though, and it's kind of funny. It leaves us some more room to do maybe another service center in here, or maybe another school or something, because we're definitely going to need it. So maybe we will bring this all the way down, and I don't want it to be on this little section right here. Really like how this is working though. I think this whole split section looks great. And we could actually do one right there too, or do a roundabout. I think that could probably be good. But what I want to do is put in some water pipes real quick. All right, looking pretty good. And so now let's go ahead and zone some of this in. So we're going to leave that empty. We are going to, it does look like we're having power problems again. Wow. All right, well, we're going to place down this oil one. We are going to come back through here and upgrade these once the city expands a little more. But I can't believe we're already having running out of electricity again. Our city's really expanding. And so let's go ahead and remove the zoning right on these streets. I feel like that would be safe. And then what we can do is jump in here, and we will bring our commercial zoning all the way back. I feel like this is going to be good. And you know what? I did it on the wrong side of the road. So we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to put it on this side. And then let's go ahead, and I'm just going to fill this in with residential. Wow, look at that big town, population 7,500. So now we got the campus area, which we definitely want to do a school. We got leisure, IT clusters, ton of policies, and we really can do a lot now. And I want to do a cool university in here. Really excited for the downtown in this city. I ended up putting in a couple little roads, little crossings in here, just because I wanted to break it up even more. That's one of the things, like with European, it's not really like a pattern so much, and so I wanted to create those little nooks and crannies, like those alleyways and everything. I felt like that was really going to help us capture a little bit more of a realistic aesthetic in here. So I want to bring these back, and I'm just going to jump in here and kind of clean these up. I don't want them to be on this road. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks pretty good. And so we have a bunch of new zoning now, and we don't really have any trees back here. We definitely need to do some trees. And you know what? I want to go through here and start placing down some parks. We have a couple really big areas that parks would just be great in, like right there. And then, we could do the botanical gardens. I think that would be great. Let's go ahead and put in the botanical gardens right here. Ooh, look at that. Man, we're just booming. So let's go ahead and put our water tower. We'll put one right there. All right, so I put in another water tower over here, and then I did another waste transfer facility as well. You know, I definitely, this layout is very unique. I normally stick with patterns a little more. Let me know what you guys think of this. You know, I spent a little bit of time on this, and I know that this is definitely more of an unorthodox approach. And so let me know what you guys think. You know, if you guys want to continue this, let me know. I think it looks great, but it's definitely different, and so we will see what everybody thinks. The big thing for me here is I really want to get into a downtown. I feel like a downtown would just be really cool to be able to design, especially we have this whole space over here. And I actually think this is starting to look cool. I kind of wish that our pattern had developed just as good as over there, but I feel like it still looks good, and most of our problem here was just the hill, and so I think it looks good. It does look like we need to do another industrial area. Maybe we'll keep it for the next episode. And so for this little park down here, what I want to do is just make a couple connections. We don't need to do anything crazy. I'm in roads. I want to go to gravel paths, and what we're going to do is just kind of connect it up, make it look nice. So we'll go like right there and right there. We'll come up over here, go like that, and then we will jump into the network multi-tool, and we're going to unlock all these segments so that we can upgrade these as well. I'm not going to do that middle section, though. I think having concrete in there would actually be kind of nice. But this is an easy way for you to be able to change the paths within a park. So then we'll jump back in here and go to unlock again. Unlock these, go like that. Yeah, look at that, perfect. So now we should be able to come through here. Yeah, I like that. And I like having the concrete in the middle. It's almost like a little space. And I want to get into doing some docks too. I think doing docks in this area would be great. But I like how these are all grown up. I think this is just fantastic. You know, we're up on this hill that's already kind of overlooking the city a little bit, but this is coming in really nice. I think dealing with the hill was kind of a problem, but I think the way that we did it came out pretty well. And so let's go ahead and extend our district over here too, so that we don't get any sort of weird housing going on. I need to get that mod where we download the different, or we can choose the different district styles. I've seen Biffy use it before, and I think it would just be fantastic for us to start utilizing that. All right, and so I think this city is looking pretty good. I really like these plazas that we did. I think these just look great, and I'm glad we finally were able to get a really big elementary school in here. I think this is really cool. It's got a little track and field area for people to do their mile, and we got a nice parking lot, and we got a little bit of a traffic jam showing up here. I wonder if we can just jump in here real quick. Just make this a priority road. So it looks like everybody's just kind of stopping at all the intersections, which we have a train stop right there, so that's to be expected. But good thing we have a ton of people walking around. I mean, this is crazy. Look how many people are walking here. This is really cool. And let's look at this too. Oh yeah, look at that. We got a ton of people using this. This little area is coming together pretty nicely. I like doing these little split roads. I think it looks good. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed the episode. It really helps me to it helps me with YouTube, but it also encourages me, you know, lets me know that you guys enjoyed it. And then hit that subscribe button if you're interested in checking out more of this series. I think we're going to be kind of switching back and forth between this city and then the island city. And so sometime next week we're going to do the island city. And if you guys have any ideas for this, go ahead and let me know. I want to do a downtown, maybe some fun stuff in the lake. We need to come up with a cool name for this. Right now it's Lake Dale. But I was thinking something Boreal or maybe Albany or even New York, something like that. And let me know what you guys think of these patterns. Like, should we tighten them up? Should we keep it to where it's this far apart? Or yeah, just let me know. And if you're interested in checking out the first episode of the series, go ahead and click on the video on your screen. And thank you so much for watching. I will catch you on the next episode.